Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
I'm not going to be able to see you, and I'm not going to be able to see myself.
Okay.
All I can see are my screen because I've got to do this split screen crazy thing.
Okay. But you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay. So you just. Okay, ladies, welcome to the next session with Urmila Prabhu. Thank you very much for your patience. It's been a crazy day, but we're here and we're still in one piece. So I have the great fortune to introduce Urmila Prabhu to you. She's a disciple of His Holiness, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. She was initiated in 1973. She has been in the Vanaprastha ashram since 1996. And she has a PhD in education, and she was a teacher for 27 years, and she also has 19 years of experience in educational management. She's the chair of the Sastric Advisory Council, and she is a co-editor for the Back to Godhead magazine, and she also teaches at Bhaktivedanta College. And also, she's a powerful across the board. She also authored several books, one of which is actually a book on always thinking of Krishna, and that will be the topic of the day. And on a personal note, she has 3 children, 14 grandchildren, and she just recently welcomed her 2nd great-grandson into this world. And she's also known for her compassionate inclusion of children in all spheres of our devotional life. So we are very happy we're very happy to welcome her, and I'm handing over to you, Urmila Prabhu, if you want to say something, and then we'll get the slideshow ready.
All right, please let me know when it's ready, because again, I have I'm using, because we didn't have Zoom, I'm having to do a strange arrangement with a split screen, which means I can't see myself. I can't see anything in what's going on. So I'm doing this kind of oddly, and okay. I have to manipulate 2 screens at once. So that may prove to be a little glitchy, and I hope you will bear with me.
Yeah, we can see the screen, so you can start.
Okay. All right, maybe we can just chant a couple times going through the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
And Kamalasita, if you need to tell me something, please send me a message over WhatsApp.
Yep, we'll do.
I won't have another way to see it.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to be looking today as, how am I always going to think about Krishna? You know, this is what we're told. Always remember Krishna. Never forget him. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that. You know, I've got to take my kids to school. I've got to cook. I have to clean my house. I have to take care of my husband. I have to brush my teeth. I have to do my exercises. I have to pay the bills. I have to, how am I going to sit down and think about Krishna? That seems like something for people who can just go to Radhakund, you know, and sit there. And I'm going to meditate on Krishna. How are we going to do that? Now, when Krishna says to Arjuna, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam twajit yante kalevaram tam tam evati kuntaya sadatad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever you think about when you die, that's where you'll go. Now, you would think that the very next thing he would say is, leave this battlefield. How are you going to think of me on a battlefield? You know, go to Vrindavan, sit at the bank of Radhika and just meditate and chant. But the next verse, he says, Mam anusmaram yujya cha. Think of me while you're fighting. Fighting. Wow. So when I'm fighting, people are trying to kill me, and I'm trying to kill them, and I'm going to think about Krishna, how to do this. But this is exactly what Krishna is asking us to do. All right. So this is meant to be not exactly a seminar, but a workshop. So this isn't just me entertaining you. Hopefully you're entertained, but it's also going to be very participatory. And we had, if I don't know why Zoom is not working for this group, we just had it working for BBT Africa. Well, if it was working, we'd be working in breakout groups. And unfortunately, we'll have to be working individually. Of course, if you have someone else in your geographical location, then you can have a physical group. So this is going to be our first individual exercise, so to speak. So I'd like us to relax, take some deep breaths, breathing in for a slow count of 4, holding your breath for a slow count of 4, breathing out for a slow count of 4, holding for a slow count of 4. It's called 4 square breathing. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's close our eyes and go back through the day in increments of a half an hour. What was I thinking about? Starting from now, going backwards until we woke up. What was I thinking about? Okay. You may not have gotten all the way back to when you woke up. So some of us might have been thinking about food. So if we were live and you could raise your hand, you could tell me how many of us were thinking about food sometime between when we woke up and now. How many of us thought about money? Something with finances. How many of us thought about some relationship that we have with someone in this world? Someone in our family, friends, somebody we work with. How many of us thought about some choices we need to make? Where am I going to live? What work am I going to do? Am I going to get married? Am I going to marry this person? Do I want children? Or just even, what am I going to cook for dinner? How many of us thought about what choices we need to make? How many of us thought about some suffering of somebody? Somebody that we care about? Yesterday, I heard about a dear friend and god sister who's gone from hospital to hospice. I was thinking about her. So maybe some suffering we're going through, or some suffering that someone else is going through. And how many of us thought about Krishna? About Krishna, his associates, his pure devotees. Well, I would imagine, since today's the Vaishnavi retreat, and especially for those of you in South Africa, it's getting near the end of the day. I certainly hope that you had some thoughts about Krishna and Krishna's devotees. But we can, even on this day, when maybe we were especially trying to focus on Krishna, still we might have had many or all of those other thoughts, in addition to thinking about Krishna. And certainly, sometimes our mind might seem to us like this picture. It's just out of order, or it's going in reverse, right? It's not, or like I'm trying to think of Krishna. I mean, maybe even it's during our japa time or our Gayatri time or our worship time or Bhagavatam class time, and we're thinking about food or money or relationships or decisions or somebody who's suffering or something other than Krishna. So how are we going to see Krishna in everything? Now, in this particular workshop, we are not focusing on our sadhana. So this is not a workshop about how to be more aware of Krishna specifically during japa, Bhagavatam class, kirtan, arati, puja, reading the books. I mean, certainly that's there. I have other workshops on that topic. But this particular focus is on how can we remember Krishna in times other than our sadhana time, in our normal daily life. And as Kamalasita mentioned at the beginning, this is a topic on which she and I have written a book, and it's a book which we are planning that BBT Africa is going to be publishing sometime this year, where we've explored nearly 300 in-depth, detailed meditations So this presentation today is really like a little taster. And I'm hoping that when this book gets published, it will be published not only as a book, but also as an app, as something that one can refer to on one's phone. Oh, today I want to have this meditation, like that. All right. So let's see, how are we going to do that? So this is from in the purport in Bhagavad-Gita 18:9. Srila Prabhupada makes this interesting statement. He says, a man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. And here Prabhupada's given an example of a factory worker. You know, if we think about what kind of situation is furthest from sitting at the bank of Radhakund, you know, it's furthest from just sitting there in Krishna Balaram temple or Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, chanting 64 rounds and reading a chapter a day in Bhagavad Gita. We think about a factory worker. But here, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about working in a factory for Krishna. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita 12:2, one of, I think, the most interesting and amazing purports. He says, sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. Such action is in full samadhi. Let's think about examples in the Shastra of samadhi. And I'm not sure if you're able to write stuff in, and if then Kamalasita can write it in for me on WhatsApp in our very complicated system.
No, it's okay. I can see the
okay, all right.
YouTube
So
comment.
maybe some of you can suggest who in the Shastra was in samadhi such that they became unaware of everyone and everything around them. Some examples from Shastra.
We have Prahlad, we have Kardama Muni. Those are the two responses. That
okay, anybody else? There's more than that.
And
People who
Lord
just lost.
Lord Chaitanya.
Chaitanya. Okay, wow. Some more responses.
Are there any on Facebook, ladies? I have to check on Facebook as well. Mother Yashoda.
Okay. Well, Mother Yashoda has a little bit different kind of samadhi, I guess, when she saw the universal form.
We also have Ambarish Maharaj. We also have Jada Bharat. Sudevi Sundari, the gopis of Raj. Shringi, gopis. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about persons like Lord Shiva at the Daksha Yagya, who didn't see Lord Shiva, or Shamakarishi, who didn't hear or see Maharaj Pariksit, or King Indradyumna, who didn't see, I think it was Agastya Muni, and got cursed to be an elephant. So generally, when people are in samadhi, one of the preliminary phases to samadhi is called pratyadhara. Pratyadhara means that one loses awareness of the external senses. Something like what happens to us in deep sleep, where we lose all awareness of of everything with our senses. And that's a precursor to samadhi. So that kind of samadhi where one forgets everything, and we have some material perversions of samadhi. The examples given in the 11th canto of the arrow maker who was so absorbed in making his arrow that he wasn't aware of the passing of the king and his retinue. We've all, I'm sure, been so absorbed in a book or a film or theater that we lost awareness of our surroundings. We forgot that it was time to eat or go to sleep, or something that's, or some work that's just absorbing our attention, where we lose our awareness of our surroundings. But Srila Prabhupada's speaking about, writing about here, cooking and going to the market in samadhi. So, or cleaning the temple in samadhi. So if we were cleaning the temple in a state where we lost all awareness of our surroundings, what to speak of if you're driving to the market like that, or you're cooking, that would be pretty catastrophic. So there are different processes of yoga. And in the different processes of yoga, samadhi is defined differently. So the four main processes of yoga, which can also be combined, are bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion, jnana yoga, the yoga of philosophy and knowledge, karma yoga, the yoga of action, and dhyana yoga, the yoga of meditation. And in each of these, there's a different process for how to attain samadhi, and there's a different definition of samadhi. So this is the next thing I'd like to ask each of you to work on. And if you're in a situation where you can work with some other people, that's also very nice. And to write down for each of these, what does samadhi mean for each of these kinds of yoga? And what's the process for attaining samadhi? So we're going to take about, each of you could work on that for the next 4 or 5 minutes. And I will be right back.
Prabhu, we have an answer from we have a question from someone. Where does Sankhya Yoga fit in with the four main yogas?
That's a very good question. Sankhya Yoga is often equivalent to Gyan Yoga, but it can also be considered a mixture of Gyan and Dhyan. So if you read the Sankhya Yoga section of the 3rd canto, you will see that Kapila Muni is combining Gyan and Dhyan. But often Sankhya is considered just Gyan Yoga. Excellent, excellent question. We'll take
Okay,
just another minute here.
Okay, we have some answers rolling in, but we'll wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with, what does samadhi mean for Dhyan Yoga? Any thoughts on that? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Not at the moment. I have answers for for Karma Yoga and for Bhakti Yoga.
Okay, what are your answers for Karma Yoga?
Karma Yoga, connecting your demigods for some material gain, and offering the results to the Lord Krishna, doing our prescribed action. I think, yeah, and then someone said action, and someone said realizing Brahman, but I don't know which yoga.
Okay. Well, in Bhakti Yoga, we're realizing Bhagavan, Vishnu or Krishna. In Karma Yoga, samadhi is realization generally of the universal form, though sometimes Brahman. This is Karma Yoga, not karma. So Karma Kanda would be the demigods. Karma Yoga is the universal form, or sometimes Brahman. Gyan Yoga is realization of Brahman. Dhyan Yoga is realization of the Paramatma, sometimes Brahman.
Someone did say Dhyan Yoga is connecting to the Paramatma, or deep meditation, external senses not active anymore. Absorbed meditation on the Paramatma. So
excellent. So how does a person attain samadhi? Yes, in Dhyan Yoga, it's through good and bad, doing good actions, giving up bad actions, breathing exercises, asanas, removing yourself from society, removing your senses from the outside world, focusing the mind, holding the mind until one gets to this state of samadhi on the super soul. And it's that kind of samadhi that's mostly associated with a person who loses awareness of the outside world. In Gyan Yoga, a person attains samadhi through philosophizing, through just saying, I'm not part of this world. I don't have an identity in this world. All attempts to enjoy the world are basically just suffering. There must be some reality beyond the world. By this sort of contemplation and philosophizing and studying of scripture, one attains an awareness of Brahman, letting go of all the things in the world. So there's a number of people today, a number of spiritual or quasi-spiritual teachers who teach this sort of method, that you just practice this detachment. You detach from attachment and aversion. You let go of this attachment and that attachment. You let, when people talk about waking mindfulness, they're talking about really techniques of Dhyan Yoga rather than Dhyan, where you walk through your day and you're just, oh, there's a thought, there's a feeling, but I'm the observer. I have nothing to do with it. I let go of, my joys and my sorrows. I let go of trying to enjoy my joys and my sorrows. And if one does that successfully, one will realize Brahman. Karma Yoga is the technique is that one does whatever they would normally do in the world, but for the purpose of salvation, for the purpose of spiritual realization. So Krishna says that karma palatyaga, that one gives up the fruits of one work, and that shantim anantaram, one gets peace at the end. So I'm doing this work for the benefit of the universe. we find that this concept of karma yoga has become very popular in modern, again, spiritual or quasi-spiritual circles. How am I connected to the universe? How do I work for the universe? How do I do everything for the universe? That's very much the mood of the karma yogi. You'll find some of what looks like karma yoga or is similar to karma yoga in bhakti and bhakti-based traditions, with the idea of I'm doing this for Krishna. So, but the flavor is a little different. Instead of I'm working in the bank, kind of what Prabhupada was speaking about, that we quoted, working in the factory. Instead of I'm working in the factory or in the bank to make money or to contribute to society and be a good person, I'm working in the factory or the bank to please Krishna. So that looks like karma yoga, but the difference is in karma yoga, I'm working for my own satisfaction and I'm working for the universe rather than for Bhagavan. Now, how do we attain samadhi in bhakti? And this is the key to how we're going to think about, we're going to go from here to details. So right now we're looking kind of at the theory, the philosophical theory, I usually teach like this, but what's the underlying philosophical theory? And then, okay, how do I put it into practice? So the samadhi in bhakti, it's like, you know, any of you who are married, and if you married somebody that you loved, hopefully that you still married that person and you still love them. But if you married someone that you loved, then before the wedding, you're just thinking about that person and how you're going to get married. It's an absorption. You're saying, oh, Krishna Das, he's so handsome and he plays the mridanga wonderfully. Oh, and the way he looks in my eyes. And you're just thinking about him and you're thinking about, well, we're going to have, the wedding's going to be here. We have to do this. And you're absorbed in it, right? Or those of us who have children, you know, when the child is first born, we're just absorbed. You know, is he breathing? Is he breathing? We're waking up in the middle of the night. You know, is he breathing? And even if someone else is watching him, we're thinking, you know, is he okay? Is he okay? Are they taking good care of him? We have a samadhi of attachment. And we can have a samadhi of attachment for even an object. You know, we can have a samadhi of attachment for our phone or our car, or, you know, we have this absorption that whenever I have love and attachment for someone or something or some activity, it fully absorbs my thought and I can lose my awareness of everything else. You know, we all have this experience. I can apparently be in a class. I can apparently be driving. I can apparently be shopping. And there's some part of me that's dealing with my surroundings, but my absorption, and this can be a negative absorption too. You know, I can be absorbed because I just had an argument with somebody, or I'm really worried about something. So that it can be a positive or negative attachment and aversion. And that's the kind of samadhi we want to get in bhakti. We want to get so attached to Krishna, as Krishna says in chapter 7 of the Bhagavad-Gita, Maya Shakta Mana Partha, Maya Ashakta Mana. Maya, me, Ashakta with attachment, Mana. Have your mind be filled with me due to attachment. So the entire process of bhakti yoga is one of becoming attached to Krishna, and our interest in material enjoyment naturally fades when we're attached to Krishna, just like my interest in other things naturally fades when I'm attached to anything in this world. All right, now taking that as our principle, that we want to achieve this samadhi. We want to be actually in samadhi all the time. As Prabhupada says at the end of Bhagavad-Gita, when Sanjaya says he's thrilled by the Gita, and Prabhupada says that we should live life with a thrill at every moment. This thrill at every moment, this samadhi, is one of attachment. So we're going to spend the rest of this time, we have 50 minutes, we're going to spend the rest of this time going through different ways we can become attached to Krishna in the scope of our daily lives. All right, let's look at an example of this attachment to Krishna. And it's very nice where, although we are also in a lockdown here in America, we are allowed to have small gatherings of 10 people or less where I am. And I'm staying at the house of a friend right next door to a temple. I mean, I can see the temple out my window. I can walk there in 1 minute. And we've been having classes every morning on the Kaliya pastime. And what happens in the Kaliya pastime is that all of the residents of Vrindavan are so attached to Krishna that when they come to the Yamuna, they practically die, right? Prabhupada writes, out of their great affection for Krishna and being unaware of the extent of his potencies, they became overwhelmed with grief and anxiety because they had nothing dearer than Krishna and because they had dedicated their everything, life, property, affection, mind, and activities to Krishna. So this is they were so attached, they wanted to jump in the poison water to save Krishna. As they were running to Krishna, they were crying so much that the ground was becoming muddy and they were then slipping in the mud. This was the extent of their attachment to Krishna. Okay. So first we're going to look at how we can become attached to Krishna with the items in the Bhagavad-Gita that he says he is. With the items in the Bhagavad-Gita that he says he is. Now, I'd like to ask all of you, in which chapters of the Bhagavad-Gita does Krishna say, I am? I am this, I am that in the world.
We're waiting for the answers to roll in.
Okay.
Chapter 10.
Yes.
And also the taste of water. Someone says chapter 9. Chapter
Good,
7,
very good. Excellent.
Chapter 8? No. Chapter 10?
No. 15. So we have 10, 9, 7, and 15. I just finished teaching chapter 15 also in South Africa. And there's a few verses there where Krishna also says, what I am in this world, what I am in this world. And this is a very, very easy way to get attached to Krishna by what we're experiencing in this world. So Kamala Sita and I have a whole section of our book dedicated to some meditations on most, not all, but most of the places in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, I am. So let's see. I am. Here it is. I am the light of the sun and the moon, right? I am the taste of water, of purifiers. I am the wind, right? I'm ability in man. So we have all those ways in which Krishna says, I am. I am. Now, what we want to do is we want to take that and really meditate on what does that mean? What does that mean? So I thought I could read just a few of our meditations from the I am section. I hope, Kamasita, you won't mind.
No.
Okay. So let's see which ones we should meditate on. We'll do heat in fire. And I'm just picking some at random. On a frosty winter morning, with everything enveloped in snow, the rays of the sun give gentle and welcoming heat to all those that have to brave the cold. We feel the Lord's love and protection in that heat, even in the heat in our homes, when we come inside out of miserable rain and wind. Without Krishna's heat giving potency, we would be lost in this cold material world. Krishna is directly involved in the cooking process, this heat, whether the fire comes from wood, gas, electricity, or other fuel. As Krishna in the moon rays gives the juice of life to vegetables, so Krishna as fire's heat releases those juices and gives so many varieties of flavor and texture to the same vegetable, depending on the cooking method. We can inversely also meditate on our dependence on that fire whenever the gas bottle is empty or we have an unexpected power cut and can't cook. So that was our meditation on how Krishna is the heat in fire. And here in this slide, right, we're also showing the light of the sun and the moon, flower-bearing spring, ability in man, a purifier's I am the wind. And for the pizza, that's how Krishna says that I am the moon and I give the taste to all vegetables. And also how he says he's the fragrance in the earth. I mean, how amazing is it that we're eating so many different foods, each of which has a different taste and fragrance, growing in the same earth with the same sun, the same moon, the same water, and those tastes and those fragrances are Krishna. All right, here we have Krishna as the Father, right? Krishna as the Father. So maybe what we'll do, this, I didn't especially arrange this seminar for a women's retreat. If I had, I probably would have gone to Krishna as the mother. So although the slide shows father, let's do a meditation on Krishna as mother. I hope that's okay with everyone. At the present time in history, if someone describes God as a supreme mother, the assumption is that the supreme being must be feminine. Yet Krishna is both the original male and the ultimate mother. How can we understand this statement of Krishna? Of course, Krishna does have his incarnation as a woman, Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti is that womanly form who is the object of worship for the supreme goddess of the material world, Prakriti Devi herself. Also, the great saints explain that, being complete, God is both male and female, as Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram, Radha Krishna, and so forth. Such couples are one in their identity, though they appear as two persons for pastimes of enjoyment. We are part of Krishna, as our bodies were formed and nourished from our mother's body. As a mother loves, regardless of the defects or crimes of the child, so Krishna always loves us. As a mother in many species will sacrifice safety, health, and even life for her children, so Krishna is the ultimate voluntary giver of everything for his beloved living entities. The commentary of Srila Prabhupada on Krishna's assertions that he is the mother is fascinating, approaching the subject from a completely different angle. He writes, quote, in the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually they are parts and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc. are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word data means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother, and grandfather, etc. are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. That's from Prabhupada's purport to 917. Thus, not only does Krishna himself personify the qualities and roles of a natural mother, but also in the love we receive from the mothers in our lives, we feel a little bit of the love and caring of Krishna. Oh, now here we have that Krishna is the sound in ether, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantra. He is sex according to religious principles, and he's the original seed of all existence. All right, let's see. We can say something about one of those. Which one should we say? Sound in ether, that's a nice one. So it is said that the holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. That's from the Padma Purana. Each syllable of the holy name is potent, and the name is the same as the Lord. As the Lord has infinite names, and each possible utterable syllable is part of one of those names, the Lord is present in all sound vibrated through space. Anyone who chants an authorized name of the Lord gets great spiritual benefit, whereas those speaking syllables not so constructed do not find transcendental knowledge and bliss. Yet, those who are already awakened to the fact that the Lord and his name are the same do indeed find that he is present in all sound and thus relish his presence everywhere. Intentionally using sound and language to glorify Krishna is the natural behavior of those with genuine realization. In the 6th chapter of the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam, it states that all sounds in material existence come from Om, which in turn comes from the most subtle spiritual sound, which came from Brahma's heart. Om is described as the sound form of the Lord, as pervasive energy, as the all-knowing supreme soul, and as the personality of Godhead. Thus, whatever sound we hear is ultimately Krishna himself. Srila Prabhupada, in a lecture in 1974 in Bombay, says something really astonishing here. He says, you can remember Krishna otherwise, even hearing some sound in the ether. Sound is produced by the ether. So many sounds we are hearing. If you simply remember this sloka, that sabda, any sound, Hare Krishna sound is transcendental, that's all right. But if you don't like Hare Krishna sound, you take any sound. Any sound is also, that is coming from the original sound. Simply it is covered by Maya. What is the difference between spiritual and material? Everything is spiritual. Sarvam kalamidam brahma. Chandogya Upanishad 3:14:1. But when it is covered by Maya, it is material. That's all. And what is Maya? Forgetfulness of Krishna. It's the end of that quote from the lecture. The roaring vehicles on the road, electric tools, or other repetitive sounds remind us of instruments for the Lord's dancing. The birds singing can remind us of birds in the Lord's abode who glorify him and his associates. As all sound is ultimately spiritual, anything we hear can transport us to one of the pastimes of the spiritual world. All right, what are we looking at here? Krishna is the healing herb, immortality, and also death, the most dear friend, and any kind of sacrifice. All right, which one should we take from that? Let's take the healing herb. The scent of lavender induces calmness. As Krishna, the healing herb, soothes our troubled minds. As echinacea, golden seal, or turmeric, he cures our infections. Krishna, as the healing herb of marigold, cools our sunburn as arnica reduces our bruises, and as basil speeds the healing of our cuts. In his form of mint, he helps our upset stomach, and as ginger, he quiets our nausea. Chamomile helps from mosquito bites. As parsley, Krishna overcomes our bad breath. He restores our memory and concentration as rosemary and mitigates depression as St. John's wort. Each healing herb grows from the same earth, in the same sun, drinking the same water. Yet each plant has specific power as a remedy and a specific way of preparation and use. Such power in the often humble and simple plants of the earth. The power is there because such power is Krishna himself. Even the advanced and sophisticated pharmaceuticals are often pulling their power from the chemicals in these healing herbs. Although disease is part of having a material body, Krishna is not callous to the suffering of illness, but manifests himself in interplay between these plants and our bodies to restore health. People often mindlessly consume various remedies, seeing the plant's energy and their own body's processes as only chemical and mechanical systems. The greater truth is the supreme life, Krishna himself, is the power of medicine to heal. Here we have Krishna says, among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name, japa, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Let's for here do a meditation on the ocean. Oh, we have more than one ocean. My goodness, lots and lots of oceans. Oh, wow. Bodies of water, I am the ocean. Vast, deep, and almost immeasurable, the oceans of the world captivate us. We go there for refreshment, peace, and meditation on the endless waves, the roar, and the moist, rich air. We play in the waves and run on the shore, always aware of the immense power and force into which we dip our toes. We see only the surface with changing colors, but beneath hides a world of glorious secrets, many we have not yet discovered. For the fish within the waters, the ocean is home, safety and beauty. To the fish, the ocean is not just a manifestation of awe and reverence. Krishna is also beyond our comprehension. The shades of his love for us vastly outnumber the shades of the ocean. Krishna plays with us as a master, a friend, as a beloved, yet his strength and power is beyond measure. We cannot count his incarnations, just as we cannot count the ocean waves. We can never know all the secrets of beauty and grace that are within Krishna. There was always more to know and understand, more loving and wondrous surprises for all of eternity. Okay, I may have a problem here with how I'm doing this. Says my session's about to expire. Hopefully I can refresh. Okay, I can refresh. We have a list here, or we're supposed to have a list here. I may have to go back online. I was doing this in a very funny way and see how I can get this back again. But I'd like us to take each of the, I'm going to have to stop. Okay, I stopped sharing for a minute. I'm sorry, things got messed up. I'd like us to think about maybe one of the things that I already showed about how we can meditate on Krishna from the Bhagavad-Gita. And I'd like you to write your own meditation on one of those. And I will have, if Krishna is kind to me, shortly I will have back up on the screen the list from the Bhagavad-Gita. It was not an easy thing to get. So if you can work maybe from one of the ones we already saw while I'm getting this list back up. And write your own paragraph. It doesn't have to be like the meditations that Kamalasita and I wrote. It can be your own meditation about how we can find Krishna in any of those ways that he says, I am.
So you want people to respond with their own meditations on I am.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And you can share that or not as you like. I don't know if we'll have time to have everybody share it.
Yeah, I'll share some as soon as they write something.
Okay, and I will get you a whole list, and I'm sorry that I didn't realize that was going to time me out. Okay. Bingo. Okay, is it back up?
Just a minute.
It should be back up.
Yeah, it's back up.
Excellent.
I'm in the, yeah.
Okay. So here's the list of most of the items, not everything, but most of the items from 7, 9, 10, and 15. And you can choose any of them to write a paragraph about.
Okay, we have the first paragraph saying Krishna is the sun and the moon.
Let's wait. Let's give people time to write.
Okay.
Let's wait.
Okay, so you want to hear some?
Have another 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
So 1 more minute. Okay. Anybody who would like to share, you can share.
All right, so we have the first one is saying Krishna is the sun and the moon. When I went out in the morning while having the sunlight, I experienced that as energy of the Lord. Krishna is the sound of the birds. I hear it each morning. And the mountains are his bones. Okay, and then someone says, I see Krishna whenever I drink water. I don't say give me water, but I say give me Krishna.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Krishna says that I am the taste of water. While drinking water, I think of Krishna. Krishna is our very life force. I see when I see the sparks and blinks on the lake. Krishna's mischief and anxiety. I see him as rascal Damodar trying to increase his devotees' love for him by putting them in distress. And then someone's, oh, that's a long one. Wait.
Long ones are okay.
Playing badminton in the park earlier, it not quite windy. It was Krishna hugging us and purifying us at the same time.
Oh, how sweet.
And I am the original fragrance of the earth. When it rains and the water droplets touch the earth, there is a fresh fragrance so sublime and rejuvenating. That fragrance of the earth reminds me of Krishna.
Oh, wow.
And I am fire of the digestion in the bodies of all living entities. Sri Narayana Namaha. Krishna already ate the bhoga when it was offered, and yet is so kind as to help us to eat it too. We are feeding him again.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah, and as the sweetest friend waiting for us to turn to him, only benefactor, savior, and shelter, most magnificent master and lover of souls, we constantly serve him and sing his praises, sustainer of life force. Krishna as the light in the sun and moon. This is vital for everyday life, for getting vitamin D, to keeping the mood good and healthy body. I thank Krishna for coming as the sunshine and enjoy chanting the holy name. In the morning, sunrise, moon rays, light is essential for the growth of vegetables. Okay. In the morning, the sunshine and the moon rays are essential for the growth of vegetables and fruits. And when I see the clouds in the sky, I remember Vrindavan and Krishna playing his flute. And someone earlier said that while walking in the forest, they were thinking that the trees are Krishna's hair. And Krishna is the sound of my grandson. The grandson's laughs and cries, and all of the love shared by my great dog Ella, or granddaughter, sorry. And yeah, so that's most of I think of I think of Krishna as Table Mountain, as he mentions that he is Mount Meru. I think of Krishna when I see light and when I drink water.
Very nice. Okay, we're going to go on here.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we can also always remember Krishna in his holy name. And we can be chanting in our mind. If we can't be chanting out loud, we can always have some situation where we can be chanting. And if it doesn't have to be just the Mahamantra, like Prabhupada says in the story of Gajendra, that we can also have different songs that we remember. I one time was walking down the street in New York City. I was going to a doctor's appointment, so I wasn't wearing a sari. And I was chanting Govinda Jaya Jaya, Govinda Gopala Jaya Jaya in my mind all the time. And I felt like I was part of a Harinam party walking down the streets of New York. We can learn different prayers. We can learn the English to different prayers. I found it sometimes very helpful to learn some of the children's songs. So many times when I was in the Grahastha ashram, when I would be cooking, Instead of thinking about cooking for my husband and my children, I would be singing these songs, It is the evening, Krishna and Balaram along with the boys and cows are returning to Vrindavan playing their flutes. Now they're approaching Krishna and Balaram. All through the day they are in the forest. In their absence we think one moment to be like 12 years. All right, let's go on. We can think of a form of the Lord. And I'd like each of us just to take a few seconds and think about what's our favorite deity or our favorite painting. So many people have a picture of their loved one at their desk at work. I know one devotee who's a pujari in Europe, and she said to me, I love the deities I'm worshiping here in the temple, but I always think about Radha Raman, in Vrindavan. So we may have some form of the Lord that we really like to meditate on and bring to mind. Then we might meditate on some quality of the Lord. Here we see the Lord as the protector, how he protects Maharaj Pariksit. We can see the Lord as so faithful and dependable to Draupadi. We see the Lord's softness with Mother Yasoda. So Kamala Sita and I also wrote meditations on the qualities of the Lord and how we could see the Lord's qualities in the things of this world. So I'll just, let's take ever youthful. So this is our meditation. As the all-attractive person, Krishna is beautiful at all ages, but it is during his youth that he is supremely beautiful. During this age, all his transcendental qualities have blossomed fully. At this youthful stage, he is engaged in the most ecstatic pastimes with his devotees. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita 10:35 that of all the seasons, he is flower-bearing spring. Of the 4 seasons, spring is the ever-exuberant youth of the world, like Krishna. Blossoms are the whispers of new, young life, even after the most severe winter. Whether in nature or in the supermarket or the flower stall on the corner of the street, we can see these tiny treasures, the little jewels of Krishna's ever-youthful quality. Youthfulness in anyone, human or animal, is attractive for its exuberance, innocence, idealism, hope, sensory strength, and energy, and feeling of invulnerability. The way in which youthfulness draws our attention speaks to the Lord's eternal sweet youth. So we can certainly remember Krishna's qualities in so much of what we see in this world. And here's a list of Krishna's 64 qualities. So we're not going to take very long this time, and we're not going to share this time, but just take one of these qualities and just write a couple sentences about how something in this world can remind you of this quality of Krishna. Kamasita just wrote you a message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to go on. All right, and you know how to do that, Kamalasita?
Yes, I have, just a second.
Okay, so if you can write me instructions for that, because I'm going to want to do that in 5 minutes. Okay, the next way that we can meditate on Krishna is by remembering Krishna's pastimes. And there might be things in our life that remind us of Krishna's pastimes. You know, I remember when I was a principal in a school, and at one point the kids in their physical education class were doing this intricate kind of aerobic dance, and I was thinking about the Ras Leela. But we can certainly have things in our life remind us of Krishna's pastimes, and at any time we can think about Krishna's pastimes. But so many things in our life, you know, if we're having trouble with family, some family member, we can think of all the trouble Krishna went through with Rukmi, right? Or the Pandavas and the Kurus. And, you know, if someone's insulting us, we can think about Draupadi, or we can think about Shishupal, or if we're going to go eat outside in a sunny day, we can remember how Krishna and the cowherd boys or Krishna and the gopis went out to eat a picnic. So I'm sure we all have our favorite pastimes. I have certain pastimes that I would love to see. I mean, I'd love to see the battle between Arjuna and Karna. I don't think I'd like to be there, but I'd certainly like to see it. I'd love to see Lord Varaha coming out of Rama's nose and becoming huge in the sky and roaring and fighting with Hiranyaka. I'd love to see how Mahaprabhu expands into 7 different parts to dance in the Rath Yatra. So there's different pastimes I particularly want to see. So I'd like each of you just write in the chat box 2 or 3 pastimes, any incarnation that you would like to see. Kamalakasita, can you tell us some of those that people are writing in?
Yeah, poems, and the poet reminds of the linguistic ability. That's
no, not that. Pastimes. Let's go to pastimes.
okay. The Panchatattva reappearing at the kirtan in Keturi. Brahma Vimodna Lila,
Yeah.
and Ranchor.
Oh, that's an interesting pastime.
And when Lord Chaitanya goes to punish Jaga and Madai for hurting Lord Nityananda,
Okay.
Krishna and Balaram as babies holding onto the cows' tails and going for a ride.
Oh, that would be so much fun to watch that one, huh?
And Vamana Dev 3 steps.
Oh.
A coward boy feeds Krishna a flower. Lord Krishna, a universal form which he reveals to Arjuna. Gopa Kumar, Lord in the form of Damodar, troubling mother.
Okay.
Lord Chaitanya dancing in front of Rath cart. I would love to see little Krishna holding the calves' tails. Okay, we had that one. Krishna as Sakshi Gopal.
Oh, that's a nice story.
Mother Yashoda binds Krishna. I would love to see the Nrsingadev pastime after Hiranyakashipu had been killed and the Lord's mood with Prahlad Maharaj.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, thank you. We don't have time for more. So what did we look at today? So what we looked at today was several different suggestions. And we suggest that every night before you go to sleep, you could pick something to focus on the next day to remind you of Krishna. So how Krishna manifests in the material energy, you could pick a particular way you wanted to meditate on, one of Krishna's names or some particular song, what it means, a particular form of Krishna, some quality that you want to look for evidences of in your day, or some pastime. So I have now, I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to close that down, and I'm going to try something. I don't know if this will work. I know it will work on Zoom. I don't know how it's going to work on this platform. So we're going to give it a try. Okay, so I have to open up that. Oh, wait, I'm going to close it and open it again. All right. And get back to where it was. I'm going to try to share screen. And it's not. Share audio checkbox on the next window. Sharing audio from a Chrome tab. Okay, it's not going to be a Chrome tab. Checkbox on the next window. So share screen and then share audio. Okay, good. Application window. And here we go. Let's hope this works.
It's not working.
It's not working?
Mm-mm.
You're not getting the sound?
Mm-mm.
Okay. We'll try it one more time and then I have a backup way to try it. I shared the sound. I know on Zoom it works. Okay, try it again. Share screen, share audio, application window, share. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's loading.
Has it loaded?
Yeah, it's loaded.
Okay, let's see if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
No.
Can't hear it. Okay, and we'll try another method. And hopefully this will work. Stop sharing. Share screen. Share screen. Can you hear it now?
It's still loading.
Oh, it's still loading.
No.
Can you hear it?
No.
Can you hear it?
No.
Can't hear it.
No.
All right, well, it was a nice idea. I don't know why you couldn't hear it through my computer speakers, but such is life. All right, well, we have some time then. If anybody has any questions or comments.
Okay, now. I'm sending you a question via WhatsApp that I got.
Oh, I wonder, we could try it on YouTube and see if that works. Let's give it one more try before we give up. Let's see if I can find it. Because it did say it works best if we do that. So let's.
You could send me the link and then I can add it to the group.
Well, let's try it this way, and that'll be our next. If we can't do it that way, we'll try it that way. Okay, share screen. From a Chrome tab works best. Share audio, application window. It would be StreamYard, and I'd share, and then I'd go to this window. Can you see the YouTube video?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can hear it. Can you hear it?
No.
You can't hear it.
Okay, I'm going to try.
You can't hear it at all?
No.
Oh, too bad Zoom wasn't working today. What a shame. Okay, stop sharing. I'll go back there and okay, here it is in the chat window.
Can you show it to me, which one it is?
I just put it there.
In the chat window.
Okay, so we also have some questions.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's watch this first.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Can we show this to everybody? Is that possible?
Yes, it's starting. 1 second. Okay.
Okay, it's starting.
Can you make it full screen? Or people can do that themselves?
It's working.
I am the source of all that is here. I am the one who makes it disappear. There is nothing beyond me, I'm the head. All rest upon me like pearls rest on a thread. The taste of water, the life of all that lives. The nourishing like the sun always gives. Sound ineffability in none. Of all that exists, the best is what I am. When life of all life, the heat of the fire. The strength of the strong, free of lust and desire. The seed of existence, the prowess of man. These are some more ways to see what I am. What I am. These are some more ways. These are some more ways. These are some more ways to see what I am. Bodies of water, I am the sea, and I am the banyan among all trees. Of subduers I am time, the monarch among men. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end. I'm seated in the heart of all living beings. I'm the beginning, middle, and end of all things. The lights on the sun, whichever follows its course. And in living beings, I'm the living force. Furthermore, I'm a generating seed. There is no being that exists without me. Know that all beautiful and opulent things come but a spark from my slender to spring. Come but a spark from my splendor. Come but a spark from my splendor. Come but a spark from my splendor to spring. To spring. I am.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I hope that we've all been able to increase our meditation on Krishna and have some nice tools for going forward so that we can meditate on Krishna no matter what's going on in our life. Thank you for this opportunity to become part of this Vaishnavi retreat, international retreat. I was feeling this connection with everybody all over the world. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Jai, thank you very much, Prabhu, for your time and your effort and your patience. We really appreciate it. And then, ladies, we'll maybe see you for the next. We'll see you in the next session on Facebook for Achyuta Gopi, and yeah, and maybe for the next international Vaishnavi retreat in a year. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.